Oh, right live. All right, so were we even live at that time? I'm not sure, but
right into.
So let's get into the shows. Yeah, so let's just kind of dive right in. But let's kind of do this. Let's kind of I want to begin with AEW Dynamite, as you can see right on the bottom of your screen and everything. So yeah, let's kind of do that. So AEW did begin with a really good match. It was another one of these semifinals matches. It was Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. So this was a really good match. I think that this was great. It had everything that I wanted in this match. Again, I mean, if you saw the match at Double or Nothing, you kind of see where this is going. You know what I'm saying? Because the match at Double or Nothing was really good. I was actually a little bit. I might as well just move that out of the way. I was actually a little bit nervous for this match, just because I was like, oh my god, they already did this at Revolution with a big crowd, and they just blew it out of the water and whatnot. But this match was still really good on its own, in its own right. You know what I'm saying? Because this match was a lot different than their match at Revolution, which is a very good thing. Which is a very good thing, considering the fact that we had a lot of because considering the fact that in other companies we see that when two people have a rematch, it's literally the exact same thing, which is kind of stupid. So it was good to see that Darby and Sammy put on a bit of a different match, because Darby did work on Sammy's foot, like even tearing off the boot and biting into his foot and everything, and doing a reverse ankle lock. That was crazy stuff by Darby Allin. Though a lot more technical prowess in this match from Mr. Darby Allin, so that was cool, man. I liked it. Then after that, we had and then finally the match did end with Darby Allin. I mean, Sammy. So Sammy did get some licks in. Don't get me wrong, but hold on. I'm actually checking out the stream real quick. Okay, well, I mean the audio doesn't sound too bad. So anyway, Darby was really good in this as always as he is, and so I'm just keeping this so I can see if anyone comments. But yeah, I mean, it was really, it was fantastic. I mean, it was a lot different, a little bit more psychology. I think the only thing similar between the two matches was like the fact that instead of, because in the Revolution match, Darby attacked first. Now Sammy attacked first. I mean, okay, big deal. So I'm not too worried about that. It was still a good match. Really liked it. Finally. Despite the fact that Sammy did put up a fight, he was no match for Darby Allin, because Darby did put him in the Last Supper, which is like a submission and a pin at the same time, to, of course, win this match. So, yeah, that was pretty much it. Now, again, really good here, but Darby does still continue to, still continue to look good. No, Sammy still continues to look good in defeat. It's not like he completely just is off the rails. He's done. He's buried. No. He was still really good. So, but Darby does move on. He will face off against Cody next week, I think. So that should be good. We're gonna get. I'm telling you, it's leading towards Cody versus Archer, and Archer's gonna win the title, the TNT title. Next up, we had Matt Hardy in another vignette, addressing Chris Jericho. Excuse me. Matt Hardy is gold. By the way, Chris Jericho is on commentary, and as usual, he's fantastic. So, good on Jericho for doing that. That was great. But we had Matt Hardy on commentary. Well, Matt Hardy's video. It was cool. I liked it. I think he did a good job. He had his broken persona, basically calling out Jericho again, the lay hold of the ass, whatnot. That's always fun to see. So, he called out Chris Jericho. He told him that, hey, you should come, for the all elite deletion. Sorry, and he basically said, and then he said, and Sammy, since he had some words to say, he said, hey, Sammy, if you want to get involved, you can bring your ass to the compound too, and I'll delete you and all that stuff. And then he switches over to regular old Matt Hardy, the unkillable Matt Hardy, who has been with Chris Jericho, in their previous company in WWE. Well, I'll just say in WWE, and then he comes here. Now they're in AEW together, so they have a long storied history together. So obviously he tries to appeal to Chris Jericho to come down there. This was great. I like the fact that they're using both sides of Matt Hardy in this promo. They never did this in Impact. Definitely didn't do it in WWE. They're doing it now. This is good. It all comes full circle. So I really like that, and I really appreciate this new layer of Matt Hardy. Now that, of course, he's imbued with the essence of Damascus, perhaps since he's more powerful than Zenith, he can let Matt Hardy cycle between both of his personas. I think that's a really cool thing. It feels like a superhero film, honestly, where a person gets these powers and he's still trying it out, and we get introduced to new superpowers. This is really, really cool. I'm really excited for the Elite Deletion that's coming up. I'm sure it's going to be a cinematic match, and I'm all for it. I'm really liking these cinematic matches. So great promo here, really good stuff. Very interested to see where this goes for Matt Hardy. Next up, we did have one half of the AEW Tag Team Champions, Kenny Omega, taking on Alan Angels. Now, Alan Angels is pretty much enhancement talent at this point, but he puts on a good show. He put on a really good showing, so I'm not bothered at all. I am not bothered at all. I thought it was a pretty good match. I really liked it. Obviously, Kenny Omega just trying to rack up some of the wins and whatnot. The guy won with the V-trigger, so that's really all you need to know. But it was a decent match. Hopefully, Alan Angels does get a full-time contract with WWE at some point. Well, AEW at some point, not WWE. AEW, I'm sorry. My God. Sorry, I'm a little flustered today, as you can see, because, stuff like my mic not working and just shit like that. I mean, it's just kind of messes with your head sometimes. Anyway, let's move on. We get another match. We get Orange Cassidy taking on Jimmy Havoc. Now, Jimmy Havoc, I have to say, has this whole social distancing thing down. I mean, he's got an awesome mask, which is, not nearly as cool as mine. But hey, it is what it is. But check it out, Oh, man, I screwed it up. Damn it. But yeah, he's got this mask on, right? So yeah, I mean, he's got a mask like this, and he's just a really cool character. So anyway, I'll bring this back down. Sorry, but yeah, this was a fine match. This was okay. Nothing to really write home about. This was more of like a gimmick match, more of like a comedy match. It's two different styles, except one is super dark and eerie and creepy, and one is like super jovial, doesn't give a shit type of a character. So it's more like a difference in character. These two are very much polar opposites. So that was cool to see Orange Cassidy mix it up with Jimmy Havoc. We did have Penelope and Kip Sabian trying to get involved, and the best friends do equalize it. This finally results in Orange Cassidy picking up the win against Jimmy Havoc. After the match, Sabian and Havoc beat up on Orange Cassidy, but they're driven away by the best friends, who later on mentioned that they will have a match against against Havoc and Sabian next week. That should be a good match. I'm actually looking forward to it. So we did have Wardlow in action, but before that, we got an update from MJF. MJF, unfortunately, we learned, has a hangnail injury because of his compulsive gambling. I hope that gets better because, if you don't take care of that, it can get infected. So, yeah, speedy recovery to MJF. But it was good. It was cool. Wardlow comes in and squashes somebody. That's really all you need to know. So, I'm not going to talk any more about this. we did have Brody Lee taking on Justin Law, but before that, we had another Dark Order vignette. We had Brody Lee. We had someone who was basically playing football. A woman named Samantha, who I guess was his girlfriend, breaks off their relationship, and they basically are. She basically says that, hey, we're done. It's over. It's not working out. Blah blah blah. Yeah, that was the segment. And then then we have the man, this football player who was a linebacker. Brody Lee is talking to him, saying, "Oh, did you play football? How tall are you?" and whatnot. Continuing to take slight jabs at Vince McMahon, because of his affinity for big, sweaty men, right? So it was cool. It's whatever. It is what it is. And yeah, I mean, he's of course now part of the Dark Order. That man. Will we find out who it is? Is it a new person coming in? I don't think it's Eric Rowan, personally, even though Brody Lee did hint at Rowan wanting to leave WWE. Of course, now he's got released, so he could definitely be joining the Dark Order at some point. I fully predict that AEW is going to pick him up, and we're going to see Brody Lee and Luke Harper, Brody Lee and Eric Rowan reigning as part of the Dark Order. It's weird because I know that Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are in Canada, so they can't really make it down to all the shows at this point. So I think that Brody Lee's doing a great job of holding the fort down. It's really good. I like this whole thing with Brody Lee, and it allows him to rack up some wins too. So I think one good thing that came out of this whole lockdown situation is that now Brody Lee, as the Exalted One, can shine. He can actually come in and he can show what he's made of. So yeah, I mean, I thought that was great. So in a way, it's a good thing. So, but yeah, Brody Lee does make short work of Justin Law, and then stares down Marco Stunt, who they will have a match next week. Rest in peace, Marco. Excuse me. Before I forget, we did get another Bubbly Bunch segment. This was great. They did the Flim Flam, which is that new TikTok dance. I think it goes like that or something like that. I don't know. I don't do those type of dances, but that was fun. That was cool. Really liked it. Yeah, so it's time for the main event. Main event is Dustin Rhodes taking on Kip Sabian, and Dustin Rhodes says that if he doesn't win against Kip Sabian, he will retire. Now, I'm just wondering, why did they have this whole stipulation here? Why did Dustin say, if I can't beat Kip Sabian, of all people, I will retire? Now, I'm not taking away anything from Kip Sabian. He's a fantastic athlete, but he's not someone that you need. He's not so big in AEW right now that you need to put your career on the line for him. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of weird. I think that's it didn't make sense to me. So I don't know. So anyway, but it was regardless a good match. We had Brandy on Dustin's corner and Penelope Ford, of course, on Kip Sabian's corner. It was cool. Brandy and Ford do get involved. Brandy spears the hell out of Penelope Ford at one point. And on Instagram, Brandy Rhodes did post the video clipping of her spearing Penelope Ford, and she said, "Who is next?" I thought that was funny. I like that. See, all these clever jabs at WWE, they're fine. But see, the thing is, they're not doing it so overtly. So I'm okay with them. So I'm technically okay with them. So that's fine. Then we had a lot of cool moves here. Dustin still got it. Obviously, he's always had it. Sabian holds his own here and whatnot. The match finally ends when Dustin Rhodes does hit a code red and wins the match. After Brandy delivers the spear to Penelope Ford, obviously, Dustin hits the code red and wins the match, and now he will face off against Lance Archer in the semifinals next week. This should be interesting because now the Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk monster, can get his hands on one of the Rhodes brothers so he can get a taste of what it's like to be in the ring with one of the Rhodeses, right? So that's pretty cool. I like that. So I'm excited for next week. Looks like a packed show. So AEW, solid show. Really liked it. I think there's not really much that I can say. I think it's definitely a lot better than what they did last week. I don't know. I think they're really starting. I think what happened with AEW was this, and this is just speculation for me on my end. I think AEW, they, were kind of flustered with this whole quarantine thing and this whole lockdown and everything and empty arenas. That, when they were filming episodes, they at first were like, "What the hell do we do? Oh my god, just put up random matches. Here you go," which didn't add anything or do anything for me. But I think as time is going on, I think now here that you can see the progression of them kind of getting used to it and kind of just making the best of what they have a little bit more effectively. So kudos to AEW for doing that. That's pretty awesome. So I'm really glad that that's what's that happened. So I'm really glad that they're trying to find their footing a little bit more. And like I said, yeah, they're definitely, this show was 10 times better than last week. So good job on AEW's part. And now we will move to NXT. Oh, see that? That's cool, isn't that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Oh, wait. So, now, we will move on to NXT. I have to find a better way of, doing the changing between the images. So anyway, let's move on. Let's go to NXT. Let me open up my thing here. So anyway, let's talk about NXT. Now, NXT was weird, actually. Not in a good or a bad way. It was weird. Okay, let's just say that it was kind of weird. Especially with everything going on between the Velveteen Dream and the Undisputed Era. As you know, Velveteen Dream was kind of involved in a bit of a scandal this week. Some of the information came out today. I don't really want to delve too much into it until we get more information. But that's just terrible. That really sucks. And I really do hope that Dream is a much better person than this incident is making him out to be. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it. Okay, I don't really want to get into it too much, but all I know is it sucks. If this is true, then I'll feel really bad that I supported the Velveteen Dream. But anyway, let's kind of dive right into this week's show. NXT, we begin with the aforementioned Velveteen Dream. Now, he, of course, was supposed to open up the show with Finn Balor as a, like last week when they were, supposed to, just kind of as hinted at last week. That's the word I was looking for. But someone attacked Finn Balor from behind. Who could it have been? I don't know. Now, I don't know if this means that Finn Balor is in the UK right now, and they're using this to kind of cover it up, because they didn't show Finn Balor on the ground. They just showed his T-shirt. So, I don't know. I really hope Finn Balor's in America, because I really want to see more of Finn in NXT. So yeah. But that sucks. So Velveteen Dream's trying to cut a promo on the no showing Prince at this point, Finn Balor. So he's cutting a promo. Undisputed Era do interrupt, and they're about to. And it's Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, Bebe, and Bobby Fish, and they are about to attack Velveteen Dream when Keith Lee, the North American Champion, comes in to make the save. So the main event is changed to Velveteen Dream and Keith Lee taking on Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. For those who don't know, Kyle O'Reilly is injured. So I don't know the details of his injury. I just know he's injured. So speedy recovery to Kyle O'Reilly. Hopefully we can have all four men back in the ring again very, very soon. Now Next up, we get our first match of the night. It is Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzales taking on Tegan, Knox and Shotzi Blackheart. This was a decent match. Didn't really think it was anything spectacular, but it was fine for what it was. I think both teams gelled together really well. And the match ended with Raquel Gonzales pinning Shotzi Blackheart. Okay, look. I get it. I get that you are trying to build Raquel Gonzales to be this big monster heel in the women's division, and that's fine. But why did you have to have her pin Shotzi Blackheart? She's one of the more newer signees onto NXT. People really like her. She's got a freaking badass tank. She's got an amazing theme. She's got a great character. She's got a good moveset. Why are you feeding her to Raquel Gonzales? Who, by the way, I don't dislike at all. I like her. She's from Texas, so automatically she's good in my book. Okay? The only problem with Sammy Guevara is he does milk first. That's the only reason I don't like Sammy Guevara. Well, you get the point. But anyway, but Raquel Gonzales is a pretty decent athlete. Like I said, she's the powerhouse. Okay? She's basically the Braun Strowman of the women's division on NXT. Okay? Or she's like the Nia Jax, except that she doesn't actually hurt people. Anyway, so this was still. I just really didn't understand why you had to have Raquel Gonzales pin Shotzi Blackheart. If you wanted the heels to win, you could have had her pin Tegan Knox, because Tegan Knox can take it for now, right? She's a little bit more of an established star than Shotzi Blackheart. Personally, I think that it was a decent match, but the wrong people won. I think Shotzi should have gotten the pin on either on Dakota. Actually, I think it should have. That's what should have happened. But I also get that this is kind of a new pairing. It's got Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzales, so you have to establish them as a dominant force in the ring, and that's fine. I get it, but still, wrong person to feed to Raquel Gonzales, in my opinion. I think they should have had a couple of jobbers and had them so that they could be established as a tag team a little bit more. That's my opinion, okay? But whatever. We then have Drake Maverick taking on Jake Atlas. Now, Drake Maverick is in a bit of a precarious situation, as he did get his release from WWE as well. Made a whole emotional video on Twitter and on social media and whatnot. They used his emotional video of him crying and saying that if he doesn't win this, he has to win this tournament, because it's not just about the NXT Cruiserweight title; it's about his job. I don't know if we are being worked into a shoot here, or they're shooting us into a work, because I really don't know, because it could go either way. This could be part of a storyline as a redemption story for Drake Maverick, or it could be the fact that Drake Maverick actually got his release, and this is his way. This is WWE's way of, pushing him out of the picture. Either way, it's still messed up. Why are you exploiting? I mean, okay, WWE's done this before. I'm not saying no, but this is kind of messed up, man. Why are you exploiting the fact that Drake Maverick may or may not be actually fired from WWE? To advance your storyline. That's not going to bring him back. That's kind of stupid, and that's pretty messed up. I mean, he's already posting on Instagram his, some of his videos from Progress. So he could very well be going to Progress. So I don't know what to say, because this is kind of crazy. This is crazy. This is really crazy that they're doing that they're actually using the fact that Drake Maverick may or may not be fired from WWE. Now, of course, Drake Maverick was wearing the WWE t-shirt when he made that video, so it could very well be a work. I mean, if this is a work, if this whole thing was just us to feel bad for Drake Maverick, and finally when he does win this tournament, it's a feel good moment. That's genius booking on WWE's part, but also really messed up, because this sucks, man. Because I mean, the guy lost his job, and you're using whatever matches you recorded to advance a storyline because you want us to feel bad. We already feel bad for the man. The man, you just fired him. Okay, hello, and then now you're telling me that you need to feel even more bad because he lost this tournament. Let's just say he loses the tournament and he's gone from WWE. Yeah, we're supposed to feel even worse. What does that? For what? For what? That makes no sense. That's not going to bring him back. Are you guys going to hire him if we say, oh, we feel really bad for Drake Maverick? I don't think so. Okay, so this is either a really ridiculous angle and a really effed up angle or a really genius angle. Either way, we'll see as time goes on. But this was a very good match. These two men are evenly matched. Jake Atlas, he had cuts a good promo. For those who don't know, Jake Atlas is actually the only, at least the only openly gay wrestler in this tournament. So obviously he's doing this for himself and for his community. That's cool, good for him. And Drake Maverick, obviously he's trying to save his job. So I saw there definitely was a lot more passion in Drake Maverick's attacks. You could see that Jake Atlas was still, but he had an answer for everything. So much so that he finally pins Drake Maverick to win the match because they said that Drake Maverick is clouded by his emotions and whatnot. In the promo afterwards, literally he whispers, "I feel so bad." Yeah, I feel bad too. But hey, Jake Atlas gets a point in this tournament. Hopefully, Drake Maverick wins his next two matches because he kind of has to. So yeah, we'll see. I could see this going either one of two ways. Either A, he really is fired, in which case, again, this is pretty effed up. B, he's winning the tournament, or C, he's turning heel. Those are the three outcomes I can see. Anyway, we go to we pretty much had all three. Well, I'm just kidding. Not all three, but we then had our second cruiserweight match of the evening. It was for the interim NXT cruiserweight title. Another Group A match. We had Tony Nese taking on Kushida. Another fine match. My God, this was awesome. I loved it. Tony Nese doing what he does best. Kushida doing what he does best. I honestly just suggest you watch this match. I cannot tell you enough how good it was. Kushida does pick the victory, pick up the win in this. It was just fantastic. It was awesome. Please go watch it. We then got a promo from Candice LeRae and Tommaso. We got another vignette from Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux. Then we go into a segment with Johnny Gargano and his wife Candice LeRae, who is sporting new purple gothic makeup. She looks like Storm from X-Men, which is crazy. She looks like a Marvel villain, which is great. This was really cool, but this is where it started getting a little weird. This whole episode, from the Karrion Kross promo and then this, this was really weird because these two are sitting at the dinner table, and when the screen turns black and white and all fuzzy at one point when Johnny Gargano was talking, and he talks about how that NXT is a toxic place and he knows how this works, and he put the business. He decided to separate pleasure from business, and that didn't get him anywhere. Candice LeRae says the same thing. She says, I basically, let everybody go past me. I let all the girls eat first, before I could, and then it got me nowhere because none of you were there for me and whatnot. So that's why she turned heel, So that was interesting. I liked this new character for Candice LeRae and for Johnny Gargano. This is the type of heel. They're kind of creepy, but also they think they're doing the right thing. They think that they're the good guys. Okay? He explicitly says the good guys will finally win. I cannot stress it enough. The best villains in film, in TV, in books, video games, wrestling, the best villains are the ones who think that they are the hero. The best bad guy is the one who thinks he or she is the good guy. Okay? But we all know that they're not the good guy or bad guy. This is what I wanted from a Johnny Gargano heel turn. I know they tried to do it with Aleister Black, but it didn't really work. It didn't work too much for me because at the end of the day, you see, Johnny Gargano is pretty much inadvertently a good guy. Like he seems like the hero, like the underdog. So for him to turn heel was, I think, a bit of a risky move in the in part for WWE and NXT. But when you continue his kind of good guy persona, but it's a lot more twisted now, and he's kind of doing, and maybe he is doing the right thing, but he's kind of taking a much more darker route to achieve his goals, and now his wife is doing the same thing. That makes him that much more formidable and that much more dangerous. So this, absolutely great stuff from Johnny and Candice. Now, again, I really need to see Candice and Johnny dress up as matching symbiotes. We had Carnage. We had a Carnage-inspired outfit. I need Candice LeRae to dress up as Scream. Please, I want that to happen so bad. But anyway, we'll see. So, of course, their goals are the NXT Championship and the NXT Women's Championship, respectively. So, that should be cool. I can't wait. We then get Mia Yim taking on Jessie Camp. Jessie Camp, she was in the Mae Young Classic, and she was a lot more happy in that tournament, and now she's kind of a heel. But this was a decent match with nothing too much to write home about. Mia Yim picks up the victory, but Charlotte Flair then comes in, and she cuts a promo, and she basically, it looks like she's actually congratulating Mia Yim. And, of course, Mia, and she says, thank you for making me a star all those years ago. And now, I'm going to kind of help you I'm going to make you a star by giving you a match next week for the NXT Women's Championship. Mia, of course, thanks her. And Charlotte leaves, but not before telling Mia Yim that she is a great hand. Now, you know what this means. That you know tomorrow, that next week, Mia Yim is going to come and shot the crap out of Charlotte. That's what's going to happen. So anyway, apparently if you call someone a great hand in wrestling in kayfabe terms, it's actually not a good thing. We'll see. Anyway, we then get our final match, our final Cruiserweight tournament match from Group B this time. We have Gentleman Jack Gallagher, who, with his new tattoo gimmick, he looks like he just came out of prison, taking on the debuting El Hijo de Fantasma, of course, the son of El Fantasma. This was great. This is his first match on NXT, El Hijo de Fantasma, and he shines. He does a great job. I know that he's been on AAA and all the and the other lucha promotions. Unfortunately, I've never seen much of his matches. This was actually my first exposure. Very excited. Great stuff. Gallagher did continue to go after the mask in this, as they do with all the luchador stuff in this. But it was fine. It was great. Finally, Gentleman Jack Gallagher does lose after eating a Samoan driver from Fantasma, who wins the match and gets a point to his score. Sorry, I'm scratching. So yeah, this was great, man. I love this match, and I'm very impressed with El Hijo de Fantasma. I hope we see more of him in NXT. Let's get to the main event. Now, it was originally supposed to be, of course it is, Keith Lee, Velveteen Dream taking on Adam Cole, Bebe, and Roderick Strong. The Adam Cole, Bebe thing, coupled with Roderick Strong screaming, just doesn't really gel for me without a crowd. I think just at this point, you should just let Adam Cole do his thing and everyone else just shut their mouth. That's just my opinion. Anyway, this was a decent match. I mean, there was not too much wrestling, frankly. It was more a lot of a lot of goonery or chicanery. Is that the right word? I'm not sure what that means. I know all these big words. I just don't know when to use them at the appropriate time. So anyway, but this was going all decent, pretty well for the babyfaces. Bobby Fish is getting ejected. Keith Lee beating up on Roderick Strong. But Damian Priest comes in with his trusty little nightstick and hits Keith Lee on the throat, basically taking him out of action. contention. Actually, that's the word. See, there you go again with the big words. By the way, next week we are getting Keith Lee versus Damian Priest for the North American title. That should be a good match. Now, this means that Keith Lee is out of action. Velveteen Dream continues to fight, and this essentially becomes a handicap match. And of course, Era do have the advantage for the while until Dexter Lumis comes back, and he just comes in and gets in and tags himself in and goes to work and beats the shit out of the Undisputed Era. Finally, the Velveteen Dream hits the Dream Valley, hits the Purple Rainmaker onto Adam Cole and wins the match and pins the NXT champion. Afterwards, he lies on top of him. He kind of gets on top of him all seductively. Dream, I don't think you want to be doing that for some time right now. So anyway, but this was a very interesting. thing. You see what I mean by it got a little weird? Yeah, it was just really weird and really just kind of took an odd turn in my opinion. But yeah, that was pretty much the show. You know what I mean? That was it. That was pretty much it. And but it was a decent show, a solid show from NXT once again. Overall, I do think AEW was a little bit better this week. Again, NXT with its kind of weird twists and turns going in. I did love from AEW. Obviously, match of the night was Guevara versus Sammy Part 2, and it was really good. It was really, really good. That's all I gotta say. Kip Sabian versus Dustin was a very good match. Matt Hardy's promo was really, really good. The Bubbly Bunch again continued to impress me, so that was fine. As far as NXT is concerned, I did really enjoy all 3 Cruiserweight matches. That was great. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae's promo was also fantastic. So that's really all I gotta say, and that's weird. Anyway, but that pretty much concludes my review for AEW and NXT. Again, I apologize. I was trying to do something cool here. I hope you like this new little setup that I'm trying to do for live streams from now on. I hope that I can figure out a way to get my mic to work again so that I'm not as flustered. I'm still figuring this out, by the way, okay? So this may not be the final setup. So, that's just all I want to say. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support, and whatnot. Hope you guys are safe. Hope you guys are, doing what you got to do, practicing social distancing, all that good stuff, wearing your masks, all and whatnot. But that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wear this. Doesn't fit on my face for some reason. That's stupid. There you go. That being said, thank you all for watching. This is Sid, the Quarantined Mark, as I'm known on Twitter now. Signing off. You guys take care. Bye-bye.